Josh Peck going on George Janko's podcast, talking about how what matters most to him above all religions is just like being a good person, which I fully agree with. Let's watch together.
To me, any of you could say the Abrahamic religions, but really like Buddhism, Hinduism, and 12-step, and whatever your access point is where like the end result is you're a good person, it's just like repackaged ancient truths. And it's like whatever your access point is, the means to the end is that you're like a good person and you're kind to other people. Like, I'm like, cool, get there however you need to.
There was this guy that he wrestled with the idea of God, and he went back and forth, and he also had the same idea of view of like, well, I just feel like it's like a shepherd that taps you with the pole, like puts you back in perspective. When I badmouth my mom, or it kind of guides me. But the difference between him and one who like runs to God, even with good news and bad news and all this stuff, that really son and father relationship. And he goes, I don't understand what's missing. He goes, because you're wrestling not with how much do you love God, but you're wrestling with you don't know how much God loves you. My love for him started coming out when I realized what this character did for me.
Now I know like this might be a bit controversial, especially because everyone out there has become so tribal these days, where it's like, if you don't believe exactly the same thing as I do, then we can't be friends or we can't have a conversation. But here's my thing, which I totally agree with Josh on. If you are a good person and you treat others right, that's what matters above all, and that's actually what it means to be living an amazing spiritual life as God would want you to. I'm not into this whole looking down on people just because like they're a different religion or a different background, especially because the main premise behind all the religions should be about loving kindness and treating your neighbor right, not about hating people with different ways of thinking, or even just like hating people with different ways of getting there.
Yellow, pink, blue.
As he says, there are many different access points, so however you arrive at being a good person who's guided by positive principles to fall back on, that's what matters most. And that's honestly what I care about most when it comes to who I'm surrounding myself with. And like, to be honest, like, that's actually what I believe God would care about most, as opposed like, to everyone having to be set in like this one rigid way of thinking.